BJ Mafia was popping. So prior to this season beginning, I had to put out a couple of bold takes for the Jaguars. I wanted to make sure that I had bookmarks, make sure I had receipts, and also I wanted to see if that they would age like fine wine. And I'd say a couple of them so far have. I said that Doug Peterson would win this year's Coach of the Year award, and I'd say he's in the race right now with the Jaguars having a 6-2 record. I said that both Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen would combine for 20 plus sacks, and right now I'm on pace for that. I also said that the Jaguars would finish 13-4 with the #1 seed in the AFC due to our lack of competition that we would play in the AFC South. And also I thought that we had a very favorable schedule. Now right now the Jaguars are sitting with a record of 6-2. The Jaguars are the #3 seed in the AFC, and the Jaguars are also atop the AFC South. But the Houston Texans and Indianapolis Colts are not too far behind. We've still got a lot of football left to be played, but I'd say a lot of those takes right now are aging like fine wine. But I want to talk about today the rest of the Jaguars schedule, because it really does not get any easier for the Jaguars, especially when you look at the AFC North. Every single one of those teams, even though we just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, is currently in the AFC playoff picture. The Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. The Jaguars have a treacherous schedule ahead of them, and that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Now, before we really get into the schedule and talk about the Jaguars, if you guys please could, go ahead and hit me with a thumbs up. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned if you guys enjoyed today's content, and make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Jaguar fans, let's actually go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm going to put the graphic up on the screen for you guys to see, but prior to this season beginning, here's how I had the Jaguars schedule prediction going. I had us taking losses to the Indianapolis Colts at home, and even though the Jaguars continue to extend that streak, the thought process at the time was Anthony Richardson's going to get the training wheels off, and this was essentially going to be a trap game for the Jaguars. Obviously, that was a Minshew game in the grand scheme of things, but I had us taking losses to the Colts at home, the San Francisco 49ers at home, which is who we have this Sunday. I also had us taking losses at Cleveland and versus the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football, and the Baltimore Ravens have been playing phenomenal football this season. Now, while I was wrong about a couple of those, I'm still going to stay in true and stand pat on my 13-4 record prediction. I still believe that the Jaguars get the #1 seed in the AFC, and I still believe we finish with a 13-4 record this upcoming season. Now, let's go down game by game, and let's actually go ahead and talk about this, because like I said, the schedule does not get any easier. The Jaguars this Sunday will be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, they're on a little bit of a skid. They've lost 3 straight games. Brock Purdy's getting back to being healthy. And this 49ers team needs to figure it out. They just also acquired Chase Young at the trade deadline. They've now got another edge rusher to put alongside that front seven that includes Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, now Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Hargrave. The list goes on. This is the most talented front seven in all of football, and the Jaguars have a tall task ahead of them coming off of the bye week. And I do think the Jaguars ultimately will win this game. It's not going to be a pretty game whatsoever, especially when you're playing an elite defense like the San Francisco 49ers. But I like the Jaguars to actually go out there, change my record prediction from originally picking the 49ers to win that game to now Jacksonville winning this game. Now, these next 2 games are divisional games, and the Jaguars, like I said, they don't have much of a lead in the division, even though they sit with a 2-1 record right now in the AFC South. The Jaguars need to take care of business. I'm going to be in attendance for the following week, which is going to be taking place on November 19th in Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars will be hosting the Tennessee Titans for their first matchup of the season. And look, I'm really excited to be at that game. It's only going to be the second game of the season that I've been in attendance at, because I was at the Houston game earlier. Jacksonville needs to win this game. Another divisional game, important game. Maintain that lead in the AFC South. I like Jacksonville to win that game versus Tennessee. Now, the Jaguars will then go on the road the following week to play the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. CJ Stroud is coming off a career performance, one of the best rookie performances we've ever seen. 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. CJ Stroud is probably going to win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and rightfully so. He is really coming into his own. He's a great, talented player. DeMeco Ryans has this team playing at an exceptional level. I'm not sure who's going to win this game. I do think Jacksonville will ultimately squeak it out, because they understand what's at stake, especially because you don't want the Texans to ultimately have that tiebreaker over the Jaguars in the AFC South when you look at the head-to-head matchup. But I think Jacksonville goes on the road at NRG Stadium and gets their revenge on the Houston Texans. And the Jaguars have now won, what would that be? 3 off the bye, which means that we've won 5. I mean, 8 straight wins. 8 straight wins is what I'm predicting right now for the Jaguars. And then this is where it gets difficult. Now we're playing Monday Night Football versus Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are really hitting their stride. I still like Jacksonville to win that game. I do. Monday Night Football. Trevor Lawrence lost to Joe Burrow in college. He lost to him in his first season in the NFL with the whole Urban Meyer fiasco. 3rd time's the charm. Trevor Lawrence gets the win. The Jaguars are winners of 9 consecutive games. Now the Jaguars had a little bit of a bump in the road. I think Jacksonville loses these next 2 games, back-to-back weeks. People around the NFL media start to panic. Are the Jaguars actually fraudulent? Are the Jaguars just a good regular season team? Will this team fall flat on their face? No, they will not. They're going to hit a little bump in the road, and it's always good to face some kind of adversity. Now, ideally, would I like to lose these games? No. But I'm going to stand pat on these games. We're going to go at Cleveland. I don't think we win that game. I think Cleveland's defense is too good. Inclement weather. Hey, the Jaguars have done it before, but you never know. You're bound to lose some games. This is a very talented league. I don't think we beat Cleveland. Then we're going to come back home, Sunday Night Football at the bank, hosting Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson and this team gets their revenge after what Jacksonville did to them last year. And Trevor Lawrence's coming out party versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's defense is playing at an exceptional level. Lamar Jackson's playing at an MVP level. And I just think that Baltimore ultimately gets their revenge on Jacksonville, and they will win that game. Now this is where Jacksonville finishes the season strong. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Jacksonville is going to do a good job of getting hot right before the playoffs yet again. We're then going to be traveling to Tampa, I believe, on Christmas Eve. Hopefully, I'll be in attendance for that game. No promises, but I would love to be there for that game. Then they're going to have the Carolina Panthers at home, and they'll finish the season at Nissan Stadium. And the Jaguars will win those last 3 games, go into the playoffs with a 13-4 record, and Jacksonville will maintain the #1 seed in the AFC. Now, look. This is all speculation right now. Everything can change on a week-by-week basis, especially when you have injuries, whether that's on the Jaguars or on another team. Players are doing good. Teams are exceeding expectations. There's a lot of factors that go into all of this. But as of right now, for the rest of the season, while the Jaguars sit with a 6-2 record, I am predicting back-to-back losses from the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens to beat us. Otherwise, I think Jacksonville wins every game this season. The Jaguars will go on a 9-game win streak prior to dropping 2 straight losses to the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Jaguar fans, I know that there's a lot of high expectations surrounding the team right now, and rightfully so. Let me know, how do you think that the Jaguars will finish the rest of the season, and what is your final record prediction for the Jaguars now that we're kind of at the midway point of the season? Like I said, I got Jacksonville finishing 13-4 as they have a 6-2 record right now. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And Jags fans, like I said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit me with a thumbs up, hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube, and make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Jags fans, thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Like always, let's go Jags. Peace.